Welcome to the Nail Tech Society podcast, where we cut through the noise of the nail industry and finally make it all make sense. My name's Melanie Lewandon. Let's get to it. Hello everybody, and thank you so much for joining me for episode 3 of the Nail Tech Society podcast. I'm really surprised, actually. I've surprised myself because I didn't actually think that I would get this far. I didn't think that I would be on number 3, I thought that I would have given up by now or just been so busy and forgotten about it. But I'm actually really enjoying this whole experience. So I'm hoping you're finding it really, really useful. So what's going on in today's episode? So today we're going to be looking at gels. Another question that I always get asked on forums is, what gel should I use? What's the difference between hard gel and soft gel? What's the difference between builder in a bottle and hard gel? What's the difference between rubber base and builder? We get all of these questions and they're all over the forums. And again, we're copying and pasting answers, but I'm going to do this just so it hopefully will make sense to you. So what are we going to look at today? So we're going to look at all the different types of gel. We're going to look at what they are, what actually is gel, how long should gels last, can that particular gel be maintained and how, and when we use it on clients and what clients we don't use it on. So we're going to have a look at all the different gels and we're going to have a look at all those different elements. So it is going to be a bit of a longer one today, but hopefully it will be packed with information for you. Firstly, before I start talking about gel, we need to understand that our gel starts as a liquid form and then you put it into your light source. The magic happens and it comes out, hopefully, if you've done everything correctly, cured. It comes out as a solid structure. So it goes from liquid to solid when it's shown to a light source, okay? When it turns from liquid to solid, it gets cross-linking chains within it. And now I have tried to think about visually how I can make you guys think about what a cross-linking chain looks like, okay? So basically, when the nail hits the light source, the photoinitiators start off that chemical reaction which starts to join those monomers and oligomers together like building blocks, and it looks a little like this. Imagine an empty room and 6 people enter. They are all standing a little bit away from each other. They can move around quite freely without bumping into each other. This is gel before it's cured, okay? When we cure gel, then we imagine those people, those 6 or 7 people in this room, linking arms, okay? So they're all linking arms. So they're a lot more solid. They can't move about as freely. They become a little bit more stable. Now, as we go up the strength of our gel, I want you to imagine more and more people being added to the room and more people joining together in that tight space, linking arms, forming a really tight, solid structure. And that's what happens as our gels get harder and less flexible. Okay, so I hope that has helped you envisage that. We're also going to look at viscosity, which is how fast a liquid likes to move. So like the transition between water and honey. One is very thick, that's your honey, that would be thick viscosity. One is very runny and that's your water, that would be a thinner viscosity. And you've got lots and lots in between. We're also going to look at how self-leveling works. We're going to talk about that as well. And that's how a product finds its level, okay, which is really important when we're using a gel. So what gels are we going to be looking at? So we are going to be looking at gel polish, particularly a normal gel polish base. We're going to be looking at rubber bases and rubber bases with fibres. We're going to be looking at soft builder gel type gels, bottle or pot. And we're going to be looking at hard builder gels in a bottle or a pot. And we are teeth in. We are also going to be looking at acrygel. Okay, so I'm trying to cover as many gels as I can. Phew! So let's start with gel polish. So I am talking about gel polish with a standard gel polish base. Now, when I first started, gel polish was more used than any builder gel. And I think that's why we didn't see very many allergies back then. We had literally just a big range of gel polishes and probably one or two bases. And if you wanted to train in a builder gel, they had a separate pot gel that was either soakable or not, or you had cow gel or biosculpture. So things have changed a lot in the years that I've been doing it, in the 17 years I've been doing it. So we're going to look at the plain gel polish base, which is a standard base which comes with every gel polish brand. It's normally of a very thin viscosity, so it's of a thinner viscosity, which means that those cross-linking chains are a little bit further apart, which means that it is really, really easy to soak off, but it also means that it's really, really flexible. So it makes it easy to soak off because there's space between those cross-linking chains, which means that the acetone molecules can get in and break that product down. The cross-linking chains are quite wide apart, so there's only 6 people in that room. So they're all moving around freely and having a dance and doing the okie dokie, and everybody can move around. Gel polish base is meant to last for around 2 weeks. Now people are going to go, oh, my clients will only come 3. So gel polish is only meant for 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks at a push, and the natural nail will have to be in amazing condition. So gel polish is really only for clients that have got a really good, strong, natural nail who just want something on there that is nice and light and flexible for a holiday, or that they have it all the time potentially. It isn't for nails that are severely damaged, that are severely bitten, that are flaky and brittle and peeling, that are really bendy. Gel polish base just isn't strong enough to hold the structure of a nail in that condition. So these really, we are looking at a nail that is in relatively really good condition, and that client should have no issue in holding that for the time that they should. As with any product, we shouldn't be leaving it on over a recommended maintenance time, just because it can really start to dry out that nail plate. It can also break down. It can, the product will move forward. It can put a lot of weight on the free edge, which can then start causing problems in stress areas, which can then lead to things like onycholysis, and it could lift, allowing water underneath, which could then turn to greenies, pseudomonas, which whatever you want to call them. Again, these are things that I am hopefully going to be covering ASAP in these podcasts. So hopefully, eventually you'll be able to find an episode that will relate to everything that I mentioned. That's the plan. So gel polish base, 2 weekly for clients with really good natural nails that normally tend to have no issues with them, that just want a nice thin coating that covers the nails, that looks really, really natural. This is the product for them. It is also for toes. We shouldn't be putting builder gel on toes. We shouldn't be putting acrylic on toes. There are now gels on the market that are specifically made for toenails that are a lot more flexible and that contain antimicrobial, I will never know how to say that, antimicrobial ingredients. So things that are going to help with bacteria and fungus and things like that. These are specially made gels. And what we do when we put a builder gel or a hard gel or a acrylic on a toe is we can actually cause problems if the toenail is rubbing on the front of a shoe. It can put pressure on the nail bed and nail plate and cause them to separate. The movement in the shoe can put pressure on and cause it to separate. So we do recommend that just a normal gel polish base goes on the toes, because to be fair, you can keep normal regular polish on for weeks. We don't need anything stronger on a toenail, okay? We're seeing a lot of damage to toenails because too strong a product is being used on them. So that's our gel polish standard base. Next in line is our rubber bases. So these have been growing in use and more and more people are now using a rubber base. A rubber base is stronger and a little more flexible, a little denser and a little thicker than a standard gel polish base. So whilst still being flexible, because the product's a little bit thicker, it does provide a little bit more stability, and it's got great adhesion properties, a rubber base. We tend to use rubber type bases underneath our builder gels and our hard gels as a flexible cushion, a shock absorber, to help our harder product, our less flexible product, stay attached to the nail plate. So it builds that cushion, that little shock absorber between our harder product and our flexible nail plate. But rubber base can be used underneath just gel polish colour. It will extend it to, again, 3 weeks. So if your gel polish is around 2 weeks, your rubber base will give you 3 weeks. Again, I wouldn't recommend anybody going over 3 weeks. We need to maintain that product. We can infill a rubber base. So it's been said now that with even gel polish bases now, we should really be just filing down to a really thin layer. And as long as that layer is all intact with the nail plate and there's no lifting, you can just go over the top. The layer that you leave will be super thin, but you can just go over the top. It's always been that you have to soak off a gel polish, but more and more now we're gearing towards trying to file the product down using an e-file or a hand file to a very, very thin coating, kind of between 70-80% of the product removed, and then going over the top. I always still think with gel polish and a standard really thin base, you may as well soak that off, because it will just, when you soak it off, it will butterfly and crack off the nail really, really easily. And then you can just lightly prep and then go back in again. So rubber base is a little bit more oomph to it. So it can be infilled as long as there is no lifting. But you can also soak it off, because those cross-linking chains are still a little bit further apart in our rubber base. Some rubber bases have got fibres in. Fibre gel, so it has tiny reinforcing strands that are suspended through the product. On its own, the gel still cures and it still does the cross-linking, but the fibres just help that structure. It backs it up a little bit, giving it a little bit of extra support and helping the pressure spread a little bit more evenly through that product. So fibres don't replace good structure and do not make a weak application magically strong. So it's not a substitute to hide imperfections. They're there to support, it's not the main source of strength. So just remember that if using a fibre gel. Choosing a stronger product doesn't make it stronger, because you've still got to have that structure there. You've still got to apply that product exactly as intended and put the product in the right places. Just because it magically says it's strong and hard doesn't mean that it's going to cure everything. You've still got to have that knowledge of education of putting that product in the right place. Up next, builder in a bottle. Always should have a base coat underneath it. And I know there's going to be people listening to this that are going, well, our brand doesn't have a base coat. That's absolutely fine. The way that my mind works is that when you have a nail that's really, really flexible, but you want to give it a little bit of strength and structure. So we will go for a soft builder gel, let's say, first. I would not put that soft builder gel directly onto a flexible nail plate, because I know that I'm going to have lifting. I think with my experience, I could probably get away with it. But as a new tech in the industry, I would always advise putting a rubber type base that goes with your builder gel from your brand underneath the product, the base coat that goes with your brand underneath the product as a flexible cushion. Give it a try. If it doesn't work, then take it away and try again. As long as the brand has said that your product can be used with or without a base coat, then try both. Anyway, back to builder in a bottle. Those cross-linking chains are getting a little bit closer together now. So we have a little bit more of a rigid product, a little bit less flexible, still soft nonetheless. And what a builder gel does is it says it on the tin, it builds, and it actually builds structure. So a lot of people tell their clients that it makes the nails stronger. That isn't correct. What it does is the coating is stronger, which means that it will support the client's nail growing out. It will not make it thicker. It will not make the natural nail stronger. It will make the actual enhancement growing out stronger, but not the natural nail. That is false information. So don't tell your clients that it will make their natural nail stronger. It will make a stronger structure so they can grow their natural nail longer. And again, soft builder gel is for a small extension, a small nail only. You can't have a long length with a soft builder gel because it just won't hold. It's far too flexible. And another misinformation is that the thicker you build it, the stronger it is. Absolutely not. We should not be building builder gel thick. So it's actually a counterproductive. So when you build a builder gel thick, it makes that product more rigid, which actually causes more lifting if the nail plate is more flexible. So you are actually being counterproductive by applying it thickly. The other thing as well, when you've got a builder gel, when you're applying it too thickly, when you're applying your builder in a bottle, your soft builder gel too thickly, got a frog, is that you are risking an undercure. You're risking the chance that your lamp isn't going to be able to cure the product at the lower levels of the gel. So that's the bottom of the gel bead that you've put on. So it will cure the higher level, but it won't be able to cure fully and form those cross-linking monomers right the way to the bottom. So again, using that visual, imagine the room is 3/4 full and the circle round the outside breaks link. The people in the middle are still tightly linked, but the people around the outside break their arms and break that link. That is what it would look like at the bottom of that bead of gel, because the lamp can't penetrate, especially if the light source can't penetrate, especially if you've got more opaque gels, which builder gels now are a little more opaque. People tend to use them. I do. I prefer that to a clear, but I know some people prefer clears because of obviously they probably would get a better cure with a clear. But it is important that we still apply a builder gel correctly. So a builder gel is for a more flexible nail that is slightly damaged. It still needs a little bit of rigidity, but there is maybe a little bit of damage. That's only a small bit of damage, mind. We don't want severely damaged nails. A client that wants to grow their own nails a little bit, and we build an apex with builder gel, and again I will cover that in another podcast, another episode, but the builder gel in a bottle gives us the opportunity to reinforce the nail so they are able to grow it. Again, 3 to 4 weeks. 4 weeks is a maximum. I would be 3 weekly maintenance with a soft gel, because as it grows out, the apex moves forward and puts a lot of weight on the front of that nail at the free edge and starts to put pressure on those stress areas of the nail. And again, pressure not being maintained, being left, lifting. We could get, again, greenies. I'm saying greenies because I'm not going to keep using the technical terms. I'm going to use the terms that you will hear. So we're going to be getting greenies, we're going to be getting splinter hemorrhages, we're going to be getting onycholysis. Again, I will say things as I say them, but I will also explain them to you. So onycholysis is the lifting of the nail bed from the nail plate. It can be caused by many, many different things. And on another episode, I will go into that. We only have so much time. So give soft builder gel in a bottle a go on your clients that can't hold gel polish, regular base or rubber base, and make sure that you put a base coat under your soft builder gel. Some soft builder gels, you can build a short extension. It depends. Each brand will vary so much in how flexible they are. So you're going to have to look at each individual brand, your individual brand, and talk to the brand, see what they're saying about it. but we can only do short to medium length of nail with soft builder gel. I would always stick to quite short with builder gel, and then what I would do is if they're wanting to grow longer, I would then move them on to a harder product. Your soft builder gels are usually soakable, some easier than others. The key to soaking off a soft builder gel is to file away 70 to 80% of the product, if not more than that, like 80 to 90% of the product. Wrap and soak, give it a good 10 minutes and then remove gently. We should never really have to soak off a builder product unless your client is stopping having nails, or if they need a stronger product, or we need to assess what's going on with the natural nail. We should be able to infill that product so we're never disturbing that natural nail's dorsal layer. Again, another episode I will explain about the layers of the nail plate, but we should be only prepping the new visible growth, and that very, very lightly. So we should really be infilling a builder gel. If you're a tech that is constantly soaking off your builder gel, you should not be, because you are thinning out that nail plate every single time. It should be maintained, and you should be able to do that really, really easily. I would go back to your education and learn how to infill that product correctly, because your client's natural nails will thank you for it. And if builder in a bottle, soft builder gel, does not work, then we move on to our hard gel. Now, hard gel is usually in a pot, but more recently we're seeing hard gel in a bottle come through. Now, I had a chat with a lovely brand who I went and did a little bit of training with, and what they said was their hard gel in a pot was harder than their hard gel in a bottle. Now, hard gel in a bottle was still hard, and you could still build extensions with it, etc. But it was slightly more flexible than the hard gel in a pot. Not much, but slightly, which was great to know, because I could then mix the two products together. You can reinforce the free edge with the pot gel and put the hard gel in a bottle at the back where more flexibility is needed, but that again is going into very technical things. We're just talking about a hard gel. So hard gel, those cross-linking chains are getting super tight together now. Imagine that packed room. Imagine trying to squeeze a few more people in. This is where hard gel is now. Cross-linking tightness to the max. This is because it is a more rigid product. It is not porous, so acetone cannot penetrate hard gel. So it is a file-off only product, which takes training. If you're going to be filing off a product, you need to be able to do that confidently, but also using that soakable base underneath the hard gel means that you can file away the hard gel and soak off that last layer. It's a really good insurance policy, having that layer at the bottom that you can remove by soak if you don't feel confident filing it all the way. So hard gel, fully maintainable. Again, I would still say 3 to 4 weeks. Just because it's harder, it doesn't mean we can let it go longer. As the structure moves forward, it again puts a lot of weight on that free edge, which can put a lot of pressure on the nail. Hard gel can be applied a lot thinner, so the apex is slightly different on a hard gel to a soft gel. With soft gels, we can turn the finger upside down. That product goes to the middle, goes right the way down the centre of the nail. The sides are a slight bit thinner. The cuticle is a little bit thicker with soft gel, but not so you've got a hump. But with hard gel, we'd hardly put any product at the cuticle, because it's a very, where the lanula is, because it's a very flexible area. So we need to make sure that that area is nice and thin. And the front of the nail, the free edge and the side walls are the same thickness all the way round. The apex is a little bit further forward, and it's a lot thinner and a lot flatter. It works very, very differently. So if you're trying to apply a hard gel the same way as a soft builder gel, then you might need to look at your application, because you might come across a little bit of cracking or a little bit of lifting, but please feel free to email me at studentcare@melanielewindenacademy.co.uk if you do need to troubleshoot, and I'll try and help you as much as I can. So that's hard gel. We can tip with that, we can sculpt with that, we can extend as long as you like with hard gel. It's amazing. Again, viscosities vary. So viscosities of hard gel vary. It tends to be a lot thicker. I like a good hard gel that doesn't move until you start actually moving your brush, and then it starts to soften underneath your brush and move more freely. This is called a thixotrophic property, but I will go over this in another podcast, but please feel free to go and Google that, thixotrophic property, and it will tell you all about that. So they're normally a little bit thicker, normally in a pot, but now coming through in gels. Obviously, they can't be as thick as the pot gels because you'll not get it out of a bottle and there'll be lots of waste. So the viscosity has been changed slightly to put it in a bottle. The principle is still the same. Really, really hard, suitable for nails that are weak and flexible. If they are severely damaged, this product is no good because it won't work. It will just lift. So I would always try and match the product to the nails you've got in front of you. Try the lesser of the products first and then move up the stages, see where you are. The thing with hard gel as well is you can reinforce the free edge, turn the finger upside down, file from underneath, and this is the only way I can wear nails, because over the years of being a nail tech you do obliterate your own nails, and I have obliterated mine, and the only nails that I can wear that will stay put is a hard gel with a reinforced free edge, and I file away my own natural nail from underneath. That is the only way that my nails last. And my hard gel courses are going to have this technique in. So if you want to upskill, then have a look at those. The online one is also going to be updated. I'm really looking forward to it. So next up is our acrygel. Acrygel is normally found in a pot or a tube. It is a really, really thick viscosity gel, like toothpaste. So it's really, really thick. It goes on and it doesn't self-level. It just stays where it is. And you have to use a brush or the back of an orange wood stick to pat it into place. Usually a slip solution is used. Again, those cross-linking chains are very, very close together. It's a file-off only product. It's non-porous, so acetone will not penetrate to break the product down. So you will have to file that off. It definitely needs a base coat. It needs that shock absorber cushion. It's a cross between acrylic and gel, so it has that really hard rigidity of acrylic with a slight bit of a flexibility of gel. So it's kind of a hybrid of the two. And because it doesn't move, you can get that structure perfect before it goes in the lamp. But the only downside to acrygel is if you use it too thick, it won't cure from top to bottom. You'll get a lot of lifting. You'll be putting your clients at risk of a sensitivity or an allergy, because the gel will not have cured at those lower levels. So it is a product that, again, you need to really know about structure and how to make a structure strong without adding bulk. So that is something that you should really go back and revisit. So we've looked at normal standard gel polish base, rubber base and rubber base or bases with fibres in. We've looked at soft builder gel, either in a bottle or a pot. We've looked at hard gel in a bottle and a pot. And we've looked at acrygel. And I really, really hope that it's helped you a little bit. Try and decipher what your clients need. We should be prescriptively manicuring. If you're a tech listening to this and you've only got soft builder gel as a qualification, I really want you to just sit and think about all of the clients that you are losing out on. Those clients that have gone away from you because you can't make the builder gel stay on them. It's not because you can't do builder gel or it's the client's fault. It's because you're not giving them the correct product, because you're not prescriptively manicuring, which is what we should be doing. So please, please, please have a little think about what I've said today. have a look at upskilling, look at redoing some courses, look at your CPD. Think about how you're going to move forward, and hopefully some of this now makes sense to you, which is why as a nail technician we should have lots and lots of different systems in our arsenals so that we can offer lots and lots of different alternatives for our clients' natural nails and lifestyle. I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. I can't wait to see you on the next one. And if you want any questions answering on this podcast, then please let me know, send me a message, and I'll be more than happy to cover them for you. Until next time, see you later.